Hello everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the bonus content that's included with this C++ VTM number 5 on game design. In this bonus content, we're going to be taking a look at how we can implement a sort of pickup system and put mana potions into play. My name is Jason Busby, and joining me with these videos, we've got Mr. Zachary Parrish. How's it going, Zach?
It's going all right. How are you, man?
Doing pretty good. So between the two of us, over the next few videos, we're going to show you guys how to put this pickup system into place. Now, of course, the primary focus is going to be all about mana potions and mana. And what is mana, Zach?
Well, it's like magical force. It's energy that you're going to use to cast the fireballs in the game.
Meaning if you don't have enough of this magical force, you can't cast it.
You have no fireballs. You have no ammo.
You're worn out.
Right.
That's right. And, of course, by introducing this into the game, it's going to change the entire way it feels.
Right.
You're going to have a bit of strategy going on. Otherwise, you can get yourself in trouble quickly.
No more just shooting until your thumb falls off. You got to really time out each shot and make sure you're going to hit a target.
That's right. Now, of course, the main goal is to get the mana and the mana potions into place. And we could just, really set out coding this in where we have mana potions, and that's it. But, we are dealing with C++ and object-oriented programming, so let's go ahead and use this to our advantage and develop a pickup system, that's what I'm calling it, basically, so that we can introduce different items into a level that our character can pick up.
So what we'll be doing is adding a mana potion. Later on, you would be able to use this system to add maybe keys to open doors. You could add the doors themselves, other spells, yeah, all sorts of things.
All sorts of things. So what we're going to do is basically get this system into place and then just put one thing into it, mana potions. Okay, so
add a rocket launcher.
Yeah, what must be done? Well, first, really, before we do anything, the mage character, he needs to be aware of mana. He needs to rely on mana. If he doesn't have enough mana, he can't shoot. Well, let's just walk through it. He needs to start out with a set amount of mana.
Right, and we need to be able to see that.
That's right. We need to be able to see it. Yeah, very good. But he starts out with a set amount of mana, and we're just going to pick like 10 as our magical number. He needs to lose mana when he casts spells, fireballs, ice storms, whatever. If we
whatever,
whatever else.
Right now, we're just going to have fireballs.
That's right. So he shoots a fireball. He's going to lose, let's say, 2 mana points.
Okay, that means 5 fireballs when he first starts out.
And he can't fire no more.
That's right.
He cannot cast a spell without the required mana. So if we said that a fireball required 5, well, he's going to get 2, and that's going to be it.
That's right.
Okay.
And then if he's got 3, he can't cast one.
That's right. So mana increases when a character picks up a mana potion. So this means at some point we're going to need to be able to put potions into the level itself that a character can go and grab. But if the character grabs it, it needs to increase his mana level. When a player dies, boy, this one's so important, the character needs to respawn with the default mana. So we start out with 10, we die, and we come back in, we have 10 again. Now, I've implemented this for me, for the simple fact that when I was walking through it, adding mana to begin with, I hadn't actually put the potions into the level yet. So I was like, fire, 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 fire. It had gotten up to a more advanced level, like level 5, level 6. There was a ton of evil monkeys running around, and it was just fire, 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 out. In trouble quickly because you respawn and you're just you can't fire anything.
Right.
So we need to take care of that. So a few things that I've kind of got outlined that we need to do in regards to the character and mana. From there, we need to go ahead and get into implementing mana potions in the level. So this is an entirely different type of object. We're getting away from modifying our mage character, and we're now going to start looking at adding a whole new entity that's going to exist within the level itself.
Okay.
So basically, we're going to create some new classes. And let's take a look at these classes real quick. So let's go ahead and jump over here. You guys may remember this drawing from way back in VTM number 3, except it has been enhanced.
Snazzified.
It's been snazzified. And you'll remember that we have Sprite, and Sprite kind of lies at the heart of everything that we see in the level. And from Sprite, we derive enemy, character, and fireball. And from character, we derive mage. And it's going to be the mage that's allowed to use fireballs, and he's going to be the guy that's going to rely on mana.
Right.
Now, we need to modify this a little bit. Now, I could have taken Sprite and just derived straight from it with, like, mana potions. But that's not necessarily good programming if you plan to expand the game even further.
It doesn't leave a lot of versatility.
No, it does not. And it'd just be sloppy if you end up deriving everything from Sprite. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we're going to modify things to look like this. So right now things have just been moved around a little bit. So we still have Sprite, we have character being derived from it, we have enemy, and we have fireball. But now we have pickup. Now what pickup's going to do, pickup is going to allow us to control if that particular item is visible or not. if that item can respawn, and if it can, it's going to handle all the respawning stuff, which is kind of cool. Think about it. You run over a mana potion. It disappears because you've just picked up the mana.
Right.
It would be nice to have that potion respawn after X number of seconds, like 10 seconds later or whatever.
Right.
So respawning, definitely a cool thing. But maybe if we had things like keys, we wouldn't want the key to respawn. You pick it up, you've got it in your inventory.
Exactly.
So basically we're going to take this pickup class and make it in charge of adding some more functionality to our base sprite class so that we can handle all of the respawning stuff. From pickup, we're then going to derive our items that we can pick up. In this particular case, we're only looking at doing potions. So here we have potion. But we could, of course, go even further and have things like an arrow, a key, or whatever it is.
All sorts of things we could add in there.
All sorts of good things. And when you're done, this is basically what we have. Now, we don't have all of the different lines showing who's going to communicate with whom. I think everybody has a good idea by now that most everybody talks to most everybody else. I mean, of course, our mage is going to need to be aware of potions, and the level is going to need to be aware of items that are able to be picked up.
Yeah, and if we show all of the arrows of communication in this hierarchy,
it's become a mess. Yeah,
it'd just be a big web work.
So this is kind of the plan. Now, let's go ahead and jump back over here. So now that we've looked at our classes, the things that we need to worry about with the mana potions, showing the potion icon, of course, in the game itself, making the potion aware of the player. This is interesting, the way that I decided to do this. And, of course, there's 100 different ways that you can do everything in this game.
Sure.
But what I decided to do was basically register the player with a potion. So when you create a new object, a new pickup, you register the player with it. So that pickup is then in charge of knowing where the players are at.
Okay.
And this will become a little bit clearer in the future. But it's nice having having the potion itself aware of what's going on around it, because then you could do neat things. Think about it. You could then have pickup traps or pickup help me out here. Something that's aware of the player, and as the player gets closer and closer, it starts to make the player take damage. Or
so yeah, like maybe a bonfire, a lava pit, or
yeah. But perhaps you can actually, as you get to it, it gets harder and harder to get to it. But if you can get to it, you can pick it up, and then you can use it or something. I mean,
sure.
I'm just trying to make it to where the functionality lends itself to better expansion in the future with really interesting pickups.
Lots of versatile changes.
Yeah, allows you to do some pretty crazy type effects. So we're going to make it to where basically a pickup can register a player. Okay, handle a series of events. Of course, the mana potion is going to have its own
Should
update.
make a god mode pickup.
Okay.
See, that could be your thing. It's really hard to get to, and finally you get your god mode pickup, and you're invincible.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
How about you just pick it up and all the monkeys die?
That'd be awesome.
And it says game over, you won. Okay, so we need, of course, to handle a series of events. We've already seen how we can have the level do updates, enemies do updates, characters do updates. All these different things are doing their own updates. So let's have our items do updates as well. So, what happens if a player steps on the potion, an enemy steps on the potion, a fireball hits the potion, potions respawning, how's that all handled? So anyways, all these things need to be taken care of, and we're going to address all of them. And then finally, which is funny because this is what we're going to actually start with, but still.
Well, there you go.
Finally, we're going to update the level editor to support mana potions. I mean, think about it. We need mana in the level. At the moment, we now have a character, if we walk through all this, that can handle mana. And we have defined what mana potions are.
Right.
But there's no mana potions actually in the level.
Right.
So we need to give the level designer the ability to strategically place these potions throughout the level.
Right.
And if, and this one isn't really written here, but let me go ahead and say this, if the player decides not to load a game but instead do a random game, then potions need to be randomly placed. That's right, throughout the level. So anyways, that's kind of what we're doing and where we're going. And I'm going to try to make this as clean as possible, explaining why we're doing each thing, just as we've done all of the other videos in the past. I guess that's about it, Zach.
Yeah.
So with that, let's go and get started with first taking care of the level editor, and then we'll move from there into this part first, simply making our character aware of mana.
Let's go.
So let's go.